Hey,
Hi,
Karen.
everybody. Hey,
Hey,
how you
guys.
doing, Jillian?
Good. Thank you
Good.
so much for having me here.
Of course. I'm so thrilled, and I want everybody to know who you are and the
Cool.
topic of today. We're going to be talking about fruit and the most wonderful fruit festival in the world. And I'm Karen Ranzi. I'm vegan since 1989, 33 years, and raw vegan since 1994, which is 28 years now. And I look forward to the highlight of my year at the Woodstock Fruit Festival, where I will be presenting this August for my 11th year and connecting with other raw vegans and plant-based eaters and those interested in joining us from around the world. And I am here today with Jillian Stenzel. And Jillian is a high raw vegan eater for many years. How many years did you say it was?
About 5 years.
That's
But I
awesome.
ate a ton of fruit always, but
That's great. That's great. And that's what this fruity festival is about that we're going to be talking about today. And Jillian is a world traveler. She has been to Iraq, where I think that's where you even became raw vegan, correct?
yes, I was living in Iraqi Kurdistan, the northern part of the country. Very kind of remote place, relatively speaking, in the world. And yeah, that's when I dove into eating raw due to some health issues. So I figured if I can do it here, I can probably do it anywhere.
You can do it anywhere
So
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Beautiful. Jillian is also a salsa dancer.
yes.
And right now, I know that you're living in Colombia,
Colombia,
Medellin. And so that
actually
really
Cali.
speaks to me, especially because my husband is Colombian. We've been to Colombia many times and we just love
Amazing.
the country. Wonderful,
Very
warm people, and
yes.
the music, the dancing, the
Mhm.
fruit,
Oh
the
yeah,
fruit. I'm like a
got everything I
queen
love.
in Colombia.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Great place. So, yeah,
Mhm.
totally enjoy that.
Yeah.
You're also one of the administrators of the annual Woodstock Fruit Festival, a festival that meets in upstate New York. A lot of people think it's still in Woodstock, but it was only in Woodstock the first year. And we outgrew it really quickly because the first year, I think that was in 2011, we had about 250 people. And the
Mhm.
next year, we were like up to 700. So we
Yeah.
had to go further north into the Adirondacks to Diamond Point, New York,
Mhm.
to this wonderful Camp Walden. I'd like to ask you about the surroundings.
Yeah.
I've loved it. Beautiful Lake Trout and the whole gorgeous area, the mountains, everything about it. Can you tell us about where the Woodstock Fruit Festival is
Yeah, definitely.
and what all of the attendees enjoy there?
Yeah, yeah. So as you said, it's in the Adirondack Mountains. If people aren't familiar with New York, upstate New York is quite different than New York City. And from New York City, it's about 4 or 5 hours, I want to say, up north. And if
For
you're
me in New
familiar with,
Jersey, it's only 3.5 hours.
oh, really? Okay, I'm not even from the East Coast, so my knowledge of geography of the region is pretty poor. Um, but if people are familiar with Lake George, it's not far from Lake George. If that gives any of you, if anybody watching is in New York, and yeah, it's situated, as you said, on Trout Lake, which is this gorgeous little lake. It's big. I don't know. It's not huge, right? But it's not tiny. It's a proper lake. And we've got kayaks and all of these things. We use this amazing facility called Camp Walden, which is a summer camp facility, and we rent the whole place out for the festival, which is really amazing for us because we have access to all of their amenities like bumper cars and a ropes challenge course and tennis courts and basketball courts, and of course access to the lakefront property, to use the lake and all of the fun activities to do with that, kayaks, paddle boards, and of course, just the beautiful nature that's everywhere. There, we have guided hikes every year at the festival for people to enjoy. The views in the Adirondacks at the top of some of those mountains, looking over the lake, and just the beautiful forest surrounding you. And this is a little nerdy, but for anybody who uses or is interested in biohacking devices, I had an Aura ring, which tracks your sleep and your HRV, your heart rate variability. And my week at Woodstock Fruit Festival last year, my HRV was through the roof, just being in this amongst pure forest around me everywhere. So it's a really beautiful place to both disconnect and connect, right? Like disconnect a little bit from your phone and the stresses of your day-to-day life, but have real connection with other people that are interested in the same things that you are and can expand your mind and your consciousness and understanding of what's possible for yourself. So it's a beautiful experience in every way, not just the nature.
It absolutely is so wonderful in every way. And so thank you for that beautiful description of the surroundings. It's just bliss.
Forest
Um,
bathing
yeah.
everywhere.
Such
Yeah.
beautiful forests and beautiful lake and beautiful people.
Yeah,
And
vibrant
so
people.
if people are coming there for education to learn about why this low fat, raw vegan, high fruit lifestyle, people are so happy with it. Are there events, speakers? What is offered there?
Yeah, definitely. So I'll just touch on the education piece first, right? It's so much more than education, but education is a huge pillar of what we offer at the festival. And there's people such as yourself, who I call like the OGs of the Woodstock Fruit Festival, right? You were a founding presenter at the festival. And it's so beautiful that there are several of you guys that have been coming back year after year after year, proving that this lifestyle is not a fad. It's a true path to health and thriving. And we love that you guys have stayed part of this community and have have contributed to it so much that it's almost hard to imagine it without you. Um, and so for people wanting to learn about the lifestyle, it's a great place because you're not only meeting new people to the lifestyle, but people who've been living this way for years and are willing to share their wisdom, their mistakes along the way, what's helped them thrive, what may have hurt them in the past as they were on this path. Um, and I think that it's a really, really hospitable environment wherever you are in your health journey or however you identify, right? Like there's plenty of people who attend this event who are hardcore raw vegans for decades that are amazing examples of this lifestyle. But then there's people who are more modern examples of the lifestyle who are like high raw, or maybe they're not even raw at all. Maybe they're just vegan, or maybe they're not even vegan. So the point of the event is not that you have to be vegan to come here. You don't have to be anybody or anything to enjoy the Woodstock Fruit Festival. I always joke that the only prerequisite is just be interested in fruit. That's really, the only requirement
Yeah,
to
I met
attend.
people at the festival who were not even vegetarian. They were pretty much
Mhm.
mainstream,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they just were excited to come up, and
yeah.
they liked all the exercise and sports. They wanted to participate, and they also wanted to learn. They wanted to see
Mhm.
if this was something that they wanted to take part in because it just
Mhm.
sounded really interesting, and they'd known somebody who had exposed them,
Mhm.
and it turned out that they loved fruit too and they wanted to see all the delicious fruit, which brings me to the food.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah, and so where does all the fruit and all the beautiful parts of the salad bars, I mean, what an amazing salad bars we have every day. Where is all this fruit coming from?
Yeah, I feel quite proud of that. So, on behalf of Yulia, the founder of the festival, she has been working for years to source the best quality stuff that we can find. So, if that means, all the local fruits that we can get, we work with small local farms in the area who are either organic or IPM, which is like the next best thing we can get, for example, the peaches, these yellow, juicy peaches are IPM. Most of our produce is organic. and we source as much as we can within the Northeast, right? Within a few hours drive maximum. Even some farms just in the area of where the festival is. And that's where we're able to get amazing quality vegetables and temperate fruits. And then for our tropical fruit, we work with Miami Fruit. So we love teaming up with them. They come up from Miami every summer with the best of what's in season. So, that could be jackfruit, depending on the quality of what's available at the time, right? Jackfruit, always lots of mamey sapote.
I was just going to say the mamey
Yeah.
sapote at the festival is just out of this world. And if
Yes.
you haven't had mamey sapote, you may want to come to the festival just for the mamey sapote.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
it's just this beautiful fruit that's orange on the inside, like a sweet potato, but it's really even sweeter.
Yes.
And it's just like I was having mono meals, like just eating mamey sapote for some of my meals. Just
I like to
wonderful.
do with new attendees for social media. I'll quiz them like, so what does it taste like to you? And it's like sweet potato pie and all of these beautiful answers. And I think that is really an amazing opportunity as someone who, like, I've lived in the tropics, I've lived in temperate climates, and it's very hard to get high quality fruit from both of those climates at the same time. So the fruit festival is a little utopia in this way, right? We're hauling up the best of what we can get from tropical Miami, South Florida, which Miami Fruit sources their fruit from small local farms in South Florida too, organic. So it's really the best of both worlds, of the temperate climate fruits and veggies, and the beautiful, satiating, sweet, colorful tropical fruit as well. And usually I have access to one or the other, depending on where I am in the world, and not both. And for a lot of people, the Woodstock Fruit Festival is going to be your introduction to some of these tropical fruits that you can't really get either in good quality or at an accessible price, depending on where you are. So I think that Woodstock is your sample platter of the best fruits of the world, really, that you can have a chance to try and see how you enjoy them.
Yeah. And I just also wanted to fill everybody in on the Durian Parties.
Yes.
If you haven't had durian, durian is a spiky brown fruit that looks a little scary. And it has a kind of an overwhelming oniony smell. If you haven't tasted it yet, it can feel a bit offensive. But then once you have tasted the creamy custard that's inside, you're in love forever.
Yeah.
Because it's just absolutely delicious. And we have durian parties at the festival. We have a beach party with durian. And it's just so much fun.
The Durian Party is definitely one of the highlights and one of the most popular events we have. And even if you're not a fan of durian, or you try it and you're like, I don't know about this, just the ambiance of the Durian Party is a blast. There's a DJ, there's dancing, people of all ages, whether you're like a 9-month baby or 80 years old. There's all age groups enjoying dancing. And I always have videos that I share with friends, and they're like, nobody's drinking at this party. I'm like, oh no. It's definitely not necessary when you're in this high vibration of an environment with people who are so elevated in their mood and spirit and the foods that they're giving themselves. So it's totally an experience.
Everybody's high on durian.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so that's like super fun. Let's talk about some of the exercise programs. I know you were saying that there's hiking guides, there's tennis, there's some sports that people can participate in. There's swimming, of course, on the lake. What else is there in terms of movement?
Yeah, I think it's almost easy to get movement FOMO when you're there, because you look at the schedule and you're like, oh my God, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. There's so many activities that you can do, whatever exercise you like. Maybe it's just a walk. Maybe you want to do a really, yin yoga, slow flow yoga, something very gentle, there's that. There's some slight variation every year depending on what amazing activity leaders we have joining us. But many years there's Pilates, there's dance classes, hopefully some salsa classes this year, and tons of yoga, meditation, qigong led by Dr. Sam every year, sometimes some tai chi basics, hiking, guided trail runs with Grant Campbell every year. We have some big time runners who come to the festival. And what else? Yeah, I mentioned all of the sports. There's weightlifting, basketball, tennis. There's a soccer field. I know I'm missing. Oh, acro yoga. Different types of dance. There's so many activities that it's like I always miss one when I try to list all of them. So whether you're into outdoor sports, outdoor activities, whether you're into traditional sports, team sports, or more of an individual or spiritual kind of physical experience like yoga, qigong, hiking, just never ends.
There's so much. There's so much. Really, most of the time people tell me that they just don't know what to pick because there's too many options. They're like, could you please just have a few options instead of so many? Because they just don't know what to choose because everything looks so great.
I know. I mean, there's a week, so I just encourage people to follow your heart today and don't think too much about it because you still have tomorrow. Everything's enjoyable.
And then there's these amazing mineral mud baths that people do down by the beach at the lake, where they cover themselves with this natural mineral mud, and it's like very healing for the skin. So you'll see people walking around with the completely covered with this clay.
Yeah, that's always fun. Our mud parties every day at 4 p.m. we have. I mean, the mud's down by the lake for access all day, but we always try to organize at 4 p.m. You can go for the mud party, and
that's so fun.
It's like a little outdoor spa, right, for your skin, and you just dive into the lake to rinse off and bask in the sun. It's pretty idyllic.
It really is. It really is. And so I would say to everybody, back in the 90s, when I was raising my kids and we were doing our best to go and eat all this delicious fruits and vegetables, high quality raw vegan food, I didn't have a lot of community back then. It was just really difficult to find people. I started a potluck and I remember having like 2 or 3 people, but it did grow. And I had a reason to stick with it because my son had asthma and healed from asthma. And I healed my cystic acne through doing this, and my irritable bowel syndrome because I had digestive issues for years. Right. Those were the main reasons that I did go to raw vegan. And I know that you also had some health issues. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was living in Iraqi Kurdistan, my digestive issues reached their peak, and I had been having issues kind of on and off my whole life. Quitting, stopping having dairy products when I was 21 or so really helped. But I, had food poisoning in China and in the Philippines, and some stuff that kind of wreaked havoc on my gut. And so my digestion was really iffy for years at best. And it reached its worst when I was in Iraqi Kurdistan. And also I had an explosion of candida and yeast overgrowth and yeast infections out of nowhere, and looking 6 months pregnant, bloated every single night. And I just thought, something is seriously wrong here. And so I did a vegan version of the anti-candida diet and was miserable, very miserable, because I always loved fruit. And I thought, how sad. Okay, well, whatever, it's going to get rid of this candida. Everybody on the internet says that I need to not have sugar of any kind, carbohydrates, right? So I did that for weeks, felt terrible. And then I recalled Fully Raw Christina, who I had followed for some time and was always curious about her lifestyle. And I thought, why aren't raw vegans just walking balls of yeast, right? They have so much carbohydrate and sugar in their diet. I don't understand how they can't be dealing with yeast and candida issues all the time. So I just briefly looked into it. I found a video from Melissa Raimundi, who Raw Food Romance, and also Chris Kendall, Raw Advantage, have shared their stories online about candida. And that got me to read 80-10-10. And in a few days, I was like, I've got nothing to lose. I've been wanting to experiment in this lifestyle for a while, and now I have a great excuse. My health is depending on it. So yeah, my candida started clearing up in 3 days of flooding my body with sugar and food, and and that really makes you question everything you think you know. It's like, what have I just been reading and living a lie? So yeah, that just catapulted my excitement, not to mention all the benefits that came, how vibrant I felt, how alive I felt, and all of these things that sound so cliche. And people talk to you about, oh, you don't know until you experience it, but you don't, because you don't know what it feels like in your body until you spend some day, just even days, you can start to feel the difference of being on living foods.
Oh yeah, the energy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The energy that you get from this lifestyle is just
unbelievable.
I
You're a
mean,
walking example of that,
I just couldn't eat any other way because of that, because of the energy that I have. And it's the fruit, it's the glucose in the fruit. So,
the way
that's why I think people are so excited when they come to this festival. And that's why many people come year after year after year to this festival.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not just, a lot of people get into it for the health, but they stay for how they feel, or they come to the festival because they're curious, but they come back because of the community that they build while they're there, the people that they meet, and this psychological phenomena of social proof. Sometimes you need to see to believe. Sometimes you need to see that other people are making a lifestyle of this, and they can be a role model and example for you of how you can thrive. And I think just tapping into that, I remember my first festival, I had been living the lifestyle for a year and a half or 2 years, and I was the only person I knew doing anything close to this. So it was a dream come true to be able to attend the festival and meet tons of people who are doing this. And you're like, oh, I don't feel weird anymore. This is fine. These people haven't figured out. And every year I leave and I'm just high on the vibration, right? High on the
It kind of
vibration.
holds you until the following year.
Yeah.
Right?
It's totally a reset. And I really appreciate that a lot of people go who do not eat raw ever, really. They love it for that week, and they love the chance to connect and feel. For them, it's almost like a cleanse or a pick-me-up or a little reset. And I think it can be many things to many different people. Like, you don't have to be. I always like to dispel this myth that, oh, you have to be a raw vegan to go to this festival.
Oh, absolutely not.
No, you don't have to be anything. Just be yourself. Show up.
Just come and enjoy the scenery, the happy smells. Like my husband always said, why is everybody smiling here? Like everybody's just happy. And, I have to say in the 90s, I was living this lifestyle on my own, and to have that community is just, I wouldn't miss the Woodstock Fruit Festival for anything.
Yeah.
No matter where I was, I would go out of my way to try to get there. And I know that it can be challenging today, but I would say if there's any way that you can get to the Woodstock Fruit Festival, you will not have any regrets. No. You'll be coming every year.
Definitely not. Yeah. And you'll be better for it. You'll be living in a better way and enhance every aspect of your life, your mind, your body, your spirit, that just, I could go on and on, right? But there were things I didn't expect from the lifestyle that came once I did it. Like I was a regular drinker and I didn't really have a plan of quitting. I liked the idea of a healthy diet, but I also liked the idea of partying on the weekends and drinking. And it's so interesting. I never tried to stop drinking. I just did, because I felt so good. I felt so elevated. It was like, I don't want to beer. Like I want to go and hang out with everybody, and I don't need to drink anymore. And I still that's been maintained. You know, I don't have, I can go out with other drinkers and feel like I'm with them, but above, not above them, but you know, like I have my consciousness, I have my wits about me, but I feel just as elevated. And I think that's 100% because of how I'm eating and living. It's, yeah, transformative.
You just don't feel like you need anything else. You just
Yeah.
feel
Full.
totally covered,
Yes.
because it's also satisfying. A lot of people say, "Aren't you hungry?" And no, I'm not hungry. And I can eat in volume and maintain my weight.
Mhm,
I don't need extra weight. When
mhm,
I did in the past eat foods that helped me to gain extra weight, I felt sluggish. This
mhm,
way of eating keeps me balanced, keeps me at my ideal weight for my height, and just the benefits of having the simple carbohydrates,
yeah.
and the glucose for energy also creates happy hormones.
Mhm.
And the serotonin does for you what any alcohol
Oh,
or any
and
drugs
then
can
some.
possibly do. So
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
getting all the benefits without having to do anything that could harm your body.
Mhm. Yeah, the best of both worlds, you know?
The best of both worlds
Mhm,
is
mhm.
really it. So, yeah, so thank you so much for being here to
Oh,
tell me how you came to
yeah.
this healthy lifestyle, and also for talking about this wonderful festival with me, which I am
Yeah.
always so excited to spread the news about.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, I mean, there's so much that I could say about the festival. It's hard to do it without overwhelming someone,
Oh,
right? But
yeah.
I would say, you know, if anybody watching this is curious about attending with their family or attending as a single person, we really do our best to try and accommodate people wherever they're at, right? So we have plenty of activities for single people or people who show up and don't know anybody, didn't come with a friend, just came with
Yeah, the
themselves.
getting to know you games.
Mhm, mhm.
So fun.
Yeah, they're super fun. There's new people every year, there's veterans every year. So whether you show up by yourself or with your children, we have children's activities every single day.
There's a
Um,
whole family program,
mm, yeah,
activities for kids. I do
yeah,
recipes with the families.
mhm.
There's so much going on for all ages.
Yeah, yeah. And just seeing the way children thrive at Woodstock is so inspiring to me. So
They're
inspiring.
so free. They just love it.
Mhm. They're thriving, they're eating in ways that most people don't even think is possible. Like, oh, my kid would never eat that. Oh, take him to the Woodstock Fruit Festival and see what happens. Yeah, it's remarkable.
It really is. It's so
And
wonderful to watch that. Just love
mhm,
it. Yeah. Well,
yep.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I hope that everybody who's watching, that you come and join us this year at the 11th Woodstock Fruit Festival up in Diamond Point, New York. I have all the information below in the description, including a $100 discount for each person who signs up. So if you're bringing a whole family, each person gets $100 off. So that's a great way to come to the festival. And the sooner you sign up, the better it is.
Yes.
So all you have to do is go to the website, the Woodstock Fruit Festival, put in the discount code, which is down below, and you will immediately get that discount, and you'll come to the best festival in the world.
Yeah. And I would encourage everybody watching this, sign up before the end of the month because our prices do raise at the first of every month. So take advantage of Karen's amazing discount code and get yourself set up. You know, there's not really much to overthink here. Just go for it. Take a tiny leap of faith and realize how much you can thrive and enjoy yourself. August 21st to the 28th, a full week.
Great. I'm glad you added that because I
Yeah,
forgot to ask you the dates. Yeah,
yeah,
those are the
yeah.
dates. Wonderful.
Yeah, thank you
Great.
so much, Karen. It's always, I look up to you so much. So many people in this community do. And it's always a pleasure to be able to speak with you, and an honor, really. It's an honor to be involved with the Woodstock Fruit Festival. I feel so proud.
It definitely is. And I always love talking to you. Thank you for all the wonderful interviews that you do.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm looking forward to seeing you in just 3.5 months.
Yeah,
I
I'm
am
excited.
totally looking forward to this festival, as I do every year. So I'll look forward to seeing you there. And I hope a lot of people who are watching this are planning to come.
You guys there?
Yes. So have a great day, and I'll see everybody on the next video.